Today I'm going to be showing you guys my Hydroid build. So this build is going to be all about crowd control. And the best part about Hydroid is that I also have mods that are focused on actually melting armor. So he's really good with crowd control, and he's also excellent with melting armor along with your weapons, because I am using the Ignis in this build. If you haven't seen my Ignis build, I will link that in the description so you can check that out. But that's also melting armor because I have corrosive on there also. But let me show you the build. So starting with the aura, I'm using a corrosive projection because of course this is about melting armor. So this is reducing their armor by 30% just base, and it also stacks with all your teammates, so that's really nice. I'm using stretch and overextended for range, as well as cunning drift. The reason why I went with cunning drift was that I might as well get another little yard, I guess. It's not really by much. It's like another meter or something. It's not a big deal. It depends on what you want to do with this. You could also go with what's it called? Let me see right here. Power drift for more strength. You can do that if you want to, but you're only upping it by probably 5 points. You're not really going to notice the damage. And it's the same with cunning drift. I decided to just put it in the build because I had some extra capacity available, so I might as well do something with it. I'm using prime continuity for duration. This is the only thing I'm using for duration. I'm not using fleeting in this build, which is something that took me a while to get over, because I was using fleeting and streamline for a long time. And the main reason, because I was always spamming powers. But something I realized is that now that I have Generic running all the time, you could pretty much have unlimited energy and never have to worry about anything, as long as you're constantly killing the mobs also, because you'll be grabbing the blue orbs all the time. Which the best part about Hydroid is that the pilfering storm, or pilfering swarm, which makes it so that you have an extra chance for drops. So you have 100% chance for additional drops. That's awesome. Because every time you grab something, and since you are overextended with crazy range, you're grabbing everything from all over. You can only grab up to about 10 mobs, but still, as you're killing them, it will just keep grabbing new ones over and over. And since you're doing that, you're constantly getting double drops from those mobs that are getting grabbed. So it's really, really good. And then for more armor penetration, I'm using Corroding Barrage. So what this does is when you use your one, which is that rain of arrows thing, they come down, and everything that it hits, it will instantly put corrosive on them. So it's melting their armor constantly, along with the corrosive projection also doing it too. And then you got your weapons going off. Forget it. You're melting the crap out of their armor. It's ridiculous. Their armor is just gone within like 2 seconds. You know, as soon as you press it, boom, armor's gone. You know, it's really, really good. I'm using a prime flow, so this is what I replaced the fleeting and also the streamline with. And it's very good to run prime flow versus those two, because one, you're gaining more duration, and since you don't have to worry about that negative of the fleeting expertise, and two, you're saving 2 slots in your build. So I don't have a streamline in here, as you see, so I can have something extra. And that's how I was able to put the Pilfering Swarm and also the Corroding Barrage. And the last thing I'm running is Transcendent Fortitude and Intensify for strength. This picks it up so that you're at 125%. So you can see my stats right here, 125% on the strength, which is well more than enough. You don't need a crazy damage build on this. He does do really good damage. So if you wanted to go with a full damage build, you could get rid of overextended and maybe do something more defensive. I don't have any defensive mods on here because I feel like he doesn't need it. If you play him right and you're constantly crowd controlling, and you use your 3 whenever you feel like something is just getting too crazy, you just turn into a puddle, you'll be all right. Like there's no problems with him surviving. You know, so that's what's awesome about Hydroid. He doesn't really need any defensive things, unless like you feel like you'll be safer with it. Then you can go ahead and get rid of overextended. But these are the stats right here. So 250% on the range. That's the main thing right here. Efficiency is normal, and then duration's at 128%, which is very good, because your 4 is gonna last about nearly 30 seconds, and your 1, if you hold it down, because there's 2 different levels of it. You can press it, which will be like 5 seconds, and then if you hold it down, it will last like 15 or 20. Something. It's similar to the 4, so it will be like something like that. So it's pretty nice. But yeah, that's the build. So let's jump into a mission so I can show you exactly what this is like.
Well put together, operator. Now get out there and cut down the... and make the Lotus proud.
Alright, so I just made it into a mission. This is Hydron and Sedna. And actually today, the Corpus took over this spot. So now Corpus are going to come out instead of Grenier, which is pretty interesting. You don't really see that that often. But first thing is first, we're just going to start off with Xeneric. So we're going to try to get our energy back at least a little bit. What I usually like to do is I'll stand inside it so that you can add a little bit extra time. Because the one thing you got to remember about Xeneric is that you have to have your like Warframe inside of the bubble. Otherwise, you won't get the bonus. Okay, so now I'm going to just start pressing the 4. You see this? If you hold the button down, it will actually last longer and it will be bigger. So if I was to just press it like real quick like this, it's going to be a smaller radius. It's still pretty huge because I've overextended, but it's going to be a much smaller radius because... Ooh, that was freaking laggy. What the hell is that? Bomora, what? Something's coming in here. I don't know what that was. That was weird. I've never seen that before. But you see, if you hold the button down, it actually makes it wider. But if you the same thing with the 1, and it works the same exact way. So you can actually press it real quick, and it would just kind of launch them all over the place. You see, it's still pretty wide range because of the overextended. But if you were to hold it down, you can see the water actually like moving. You see, that thing would be massive. Like it's like covering the entire room. It's really, really awesome. So you can actually use it really good for crowd control because you can throw it all over the place. You can stack it a few times. So I could throw it over here, then I can throw it on that side. You know, like you can just kind of spread it all over the place. And as you saw before, I actually cleared a wave and I didn't even do any actual weapon abilities at all. Like I didn't use my weapon. All I did was just grab everything with the 4 and hit them with the 1. So this thing does excellent damage, even though I am not really spec for damage right now. And it's still really good. You see? Cleared another wave very easily. They didn't even come near the objective. That's why I really like this build, because he wipes things so easily. And then also you're getting double drop rates, so it's really, really good. And then also your pretty much your survival power is going to be the 3. So if you press the 3, you're going to go into puddle mode. And one thing I didn't know about puddle mode that no one ever showed me, or like nothing ever even described, is that you can grab things by clicking. Look at this. So I grabbed him. Come over here, bitch. Supposed to get grabbed over here. Well, it usually grabs them inside of the puddle. So if you want to just pull things into it, like you'll have a group of mobs up there or something, just pull them into the puddle. You know, it's really, really awesome. And then while you're in it, if you use the 4, you'll actually localize it right where you're sitting. So it's going to put it right in the center there. And usually, even if they're inside your puddle, they will still get grabbed by the tentacles. So you don't have to really worry about jumping out of the puddle mode. You can just stay in puddle mode while you do that. But then again, I mean, this is not a fleeting build, so you are going to be kind of suffering for endurance or energy if you went and stood in puddle mode. So I wouldn't recommend staying in puddle mode for too long. That's more like a survival thing. And then also there's the 2. I don't really use the 2 that much. I like it for traveling. So like for instance, like this, you see, you can kind of get around the map like this. So it's pretty cool to be able to do that every once in a while, you know. But yeah, it's more for fun. It's not really like a power that you're gonna be using as your main power. But yeah, that pretty much covers Hydroid in Hydron. But let's just finish this up. So usually I would just like run around. Like I'll have the 4 always going constantly. That always has to be going. and then you can just kind of run around and just wipe everything out with your weapon. That's why I like using the Ignis, because the Ignis just makes it so easy to hit everything, especially if there's like high level mobs and they're stuck on the tentacles. It gets kind of difficult to aim at things that are lunging all over the place because of the tentacles. So at least, you know, with this, you don't really have to worry about aiming. You just shoot it. That's it. And you see, as you can see, it's just melting their armor. So as soon as I hit that, you see it instantly puts corrosive on them without even trying. Instant corrosive. And then it'll stumble them on the ground, similar to how Ember's World on Fire mod works. You see, they just kind of trip all over the place. I don't understand why it's so laggy today. Something's going on. But you see, they'll be tripping all over. See, that one's tripping right now. I can just throw it on him. Look at him. He's gonna be tripping all day. He's not gonna be able to do anything. That's what's really awesome about this. The one is like the most excellent crowd control, and you can use it on the go. So you don't have to do that hold down thing. You can actually just kind of press it real quick if you want to. But that's the end of the round. Alright, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a thumbs up if you liked it. Thumbs down if you didn't. And I'll see you on the next one. Later, guys.